Hey everyone, thanks for being here today. We are doing another episode of Unscripted Coding. I had a really restful holiday, so I'm running a bit behind on videos. So I'm gonna do an easy problem just so that I feel like I have a couple spares in the background if I ever fall sick or something. So easy LeetCode problem, and let's find one with a solution, which seems to be most of it. Let's go with something. You know what? Let's go with remove element. This one sounds simple enough. Okay, so zoom in here. Usual Python. You get an array of integers called num and an integer value. Remove all occurrences of val in nums in place. The relative order of the elements may be changed. Okay, so obviously if we just replaced items or popped val in nums, that should work just fine to satisfy this. What they're asking is to actually to put a couple restraints in place. One is in place algorithm. They have a fancy Wikipedia article about it. But what's saying is, let's hypothetically say the array is 1, 2, and 3, and we're trying to remove 3. What you can't do is create a second array and start adding numbers to it. So let's say I have a second empty one, and I would go through each one and say add 1, then 2, then so on. So what they're saying is you have to make the operations happen in this array, which is fine, I think. This next part is interesting. Since it's impossible to change the length of an array in some languages, some of these, sure. So once you've allocated space in some lower level languages, you are fixed with that space. They're saying move the result to the first part. So move, whenever you see, say, 3 in our example, move it to the front of the line. Okay, so the first 3 numbers should be the first, however many numbers should be all the same, which are the duplicates. And then you return K. Oh, okay, let's find this. Nums dot remove. Oh, I am very curious if it is as simple as that. Um, while L in nums. Okay, let's see if. So what I'm doing is removing. We have the list here, the array nums, and then I'm just popping or removing the value. Since this only removes the first instance of it, I had that while statement. It's definitely not the best way of doing it, but I wanted to see if this is that simple. Okay, so Python 3 makes it really, really easy, and they're accepting 2 and 2. What was interesting in the description was actually moving that number to the front. So if I really wanted to fudge this one, I could just remove it, then add it to the front. Python add to front of list. Insert 0 and now. Okay, this is again not the best way of doing it, but let's see what happens here. Uh-oh. Oh. Of course, every time I insert it, so I was saying, while val and nums, you remove the value and then you insert it to a front. Naturally, this while loop will run forever because you're reinserting what we're looking for. So what we're going to have to do is do a for I in range nums. What I'm going to do is actually loop through each element here. So I'm going to put a sample 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just to illustrate my point. As we go through each integer, and we're doing this with nums.I, we're going to do a check. If nums.I is equal to val, so if we're saying val is equal to 3, we're going to check each one. And when we get to that point, we are going to we're going to do this. We're going to remove and then insert it at the front. And let's see. Makes sense. Range length. Okay. Scan. Zero. Okay, let's try this without the light. Okay, so, oh, okay. So we're going 3, 2, 2, 3. What we should be removing. Python list remove by index. Okay, so what the problem is with this approach is I am just removing the first instance. Since I moved it to the front, it removes this, puts it to front. Second time it sees this, it removes it. It removes the front one and puts it to front. So we have an output that's exactly the same. We should be removing the removing by index, which is pop, I think. Okay, let's go pop. and I think this should work now. Perfect. Okay, so obviously this is not the answer they're looking for in Python, but it will show you how you would do it with another language. For those languages where you cannot change the length of the array, what you're doing is moving it to front, and what we're doing is going through each item at a time and shuffling them around. If you were doing this, I think in C# or something, you'd have to use some other functions than this. I would think of moving all of them back one and putting, say, number 3 to the front. So you'd have a loop to say all of the numbers after I get pushed down a notch, and then you insert in that first spot that number. You could probably loop it a second time. Yeah. Okay, well, it turns out this is really simple in Python. You just remove the numbers as you go. But if you're trying to do it in place, here's kind of a solution, not in C#. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I will fully admit I'm phoning this one in, and I am much more excited to do the next video. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you hated this. Comment below. Thumbs down. Whatever you have to do. Thanks for watching.